Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna check out top 3 best DSLR cameras. Starting at number 3. Canon EOS 5D Mark IV. The Canon EOS 5D Mark IV was big news when it arrived, with pretty much every element improved over the previous 5D Mark III. But that was way back in August 2016, and the world has moved on since then, so does the 5D Mark IV still have what it takes? The 34MP sensor is good, the noise and dynamic range are good. The DCI 4K video capture is good, although the 164x crop of the sensor makes it hard to get wide-angle shots. The build, handling and ergonomics are good. But this is the issue for the EOS 5D Mark IV, everything is good in the market, where many cameras are outstanding. But that was in 2016. Does it still have what it takes to compete? It's still one of the best Canon cameras simply because the company has yet to launch a comparable alternative, and it's still one of the best full-frame DSLRs and best cameras for professionals for the same reason. But it's been on the market a long time, and the world has moved on, so it's time to take another look at this camera in today's context. The AF system is sensitive down to -3 EV, that's darker than moonlight, so focusing shouldn't be an issue in poor light, while the fact that you can use lens teleconverter combinations with a maximum aperture of f8 and still have the luxury of all 61 AF points will be a real draw for sports and wildlife photographers. The EOS 5D Mark IV has Canon's dual-pixel AF technology, so there are phase detection points on the imaging sensor itself, promising quicker AF acquisition than we saw in the Mark III and performance as speedy as many mirrorless cameras. Check out the description for more information and latest price. Coming at number 2. Nikon D750FX format. The Nikon D750 might sound pretty confusing to many, since its first number indicates that it belongs to the D700 line, and thus the camera could be a successor. At the same time, Nikon skipped everything in between the D700 and the D750, so others might think that perhaps the camera represents something between the D700 and the D810. In fact, the camera shares a lot more with the D600 D610 cameras in terms of ergonomics, build and sensor technology, rather than with the pro-level D700, and yet it certainly does have the robust autofocus and video recording features from the D810. Judging by the looks, its price point, lack of a dedicated AF on button and other limitations, I would say it would have been more appropriate to call this camera the Nikon D650 instead. Nikon probably did not feel like associating a higher-end camera with the D600 line though, thanks to the D600 fiasco. Perhaps if it were not for the D600 problems, the D750 would have been what the D610 was supposed to be originally. That would not have been the first time Nikon drastically changed camera line features if you remember. The D7000 sported an inferior 39-point AF system originally, while the D7100 got a significant boost in AF performance with a high-end 51-point AF system, which was previously used only on professional cameras. We had seen a similar jump from the D5100 to the D5200, where the 11-point AF system was replaced with the more advanced 39-point AF system. Nikon did end up adding new features to the D750, with built-in Wi-Fi capabilities and a tilting LCD screen, but those are fairly cheap to incorporate and cannot be considered significant, since the much cheaper entry-level D5300 also comes with built-in Wi-Fi, along with a tilting screen. So think of the D750 as a hybrid between the D610 and the D810. Lower-end ergonomics build, coupled with a high-end autofocus system, great video features, built-in Wi-Fi and a tilting LCD screen. And number 1 of this list. Nikon D3324. 2MP CMOS. With somewhat better photo quality and slightly better performance, the Nikon D3300 delivers a modest improvement over its predecessor the D3200, enough to bump up its rating and improve its status relative to some competitors, but no so much that it's definitively worth the extra money over the D3200 for buyers on tight budgets. The rest of the updates, such as 1080-60p video, a redesigned beginner's guide mode, plus a slightly smaller, lighter body, barely move the needle. It retains the same 11-point autofocus system of its predecessor and lacks built-in Wi-Fi. You still have to go dongle for that. Photos are the camera's strongest suit. The D3300 improves on the image quality of the D3200, with most images appearing somewhat sharper, as you'd expect from the new 24-megapixel anti-aliasing filter-free sensor, and the camera fares pretty compared to competitors. Also, for example, ISO 3200 JPEGs look a lot less noisy than their counterparts from the D3200, but the raw files seem to clean up about the same, pointing mostly to the inevitable improvements in Nikon's image processing over the past 2 years. JPEGs look very clean through ISO 400 and display only minimal artifacts through ISO 1600. Depending upon scene content, the photos are usable through ISO 6400, but above that the less bright colors become too desaturated and the tonal ranges compress unattractively. Overall, the D3300 tests faster than the D3200 and many of its competitors, but it still feels pretty slow to shoot with, possibly because of the relatively sluggish new kit lens. Live view performance remains terrible, taking almost 2 seconds to focus and shoot thanks to slow everything, slow autofocus, slow mirror movement, and 2 consecutive JPEG shots takes 3.7 seconds. I have included this product links in the description. You can check out this link for more information and latest price. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel, leave a like and share with your friends.